What happened to you?
Carpal tunnel surgery.
Did it work?
Yeah, I can feel,
Good.
but I don't know how well.
Mr. Weidman, you and the defendant were friends for a while. Are those prescription glasses,
Yes,
sir?
ma'am.
You and the defendant were friends for several years.
5 or 6 years.
Part-time.
I'm an electrician by trade. It's a little hobby on the side.
And you had a ring that he liked, and you agreed to make one for him.
Yes.
And had you discussed the price with him?
He's going to pay me $700. We're trying to wrap it up within 3 to 6 months. There was no set payment plan.
And you made him the ring?
Yes. He's going to pay me $700. We're trying to wrap it up within 3 to 6 months. There was no set payment plan.
Did you give it to him?
Yes.
And did he pay you for it?
No.
So that's why you're here.
Yes.
He got the ring back.
You gave it to him?
Yes, he came pounding on my door wanting his ring back. And I had it appraised for $300. He wanted $700. So I gave him the ring back.
He's lying. I wouldn't be going through all this right now if he gave me back the ring.
Why is he asking for $2,600 and not asking for the ring back? Because he's already got the ring back. He's just suing for verbal agreement, which I have nothing, he never said anything about that. He gave it to me as a gift. He ate in my house, used my washer dryer, ate my food, drank my booze, never charged him a penny.
Approximately a month, you have a drink in Ojai with the girl he's dating and her friend.
That's a little bit incorrect. He was not dating her at the time. She used me to start dating him, and then he decided in his own mind that, you took out somebody I wanted to see, and I'm going to keep the ring. And that's exactly what happened. And if he could sit up here with a straight face and tell you that I gave him a ring, I'm never given a woman a ring, and on top of that, I'm not sleeping with him. For him to even say that, I've never given anybody a $700 item in my life.
Mr. Weidman, the reason, quite frankly, sometimes if people are really good friends, Mr. Weidman, don't get excited, please, sir, and don't shift from foot to foot. If you're a really good friend of his, it's not so bizarre that if you had several of these, even if you just had one of these, and he said, I really love that you might not take it off and say, I want it to please you.
I'm not financially able to give him a $700 item.
Okay. Now, you charge $700 for the ring.
Right.
Because there's $700 worth of gold here. Mr. Torres was, in fact, a friend of yours. I don't see why you shouldn't charge him something, because you did use your skill in making the ring. And if that's the way you do business with your friends, that's your business. But I'm certainly not going to give you a windfall of $2,600, sir. So the judgment in this case is for the plaintiff in the amount of $700. You folks were married when? When were you married?
August 8th, 1992.
No wonder you're divorced. When were you divorced?
That's true.
Okay, now your lawsuit, if I understand it correctly, is about a minivan that the defendant got as a result of the divorce settlement?
The official divorce papers are dated March the 1st, 1995, and we separated in March of 1994. Well, when we were married, the defendant, my ex-wife, was extremely interested in leasing a minivan.
That's not true.
At the time, I did not feel that we could afford it, but she had her heart set on it, so I agreed. Marriages are made of compromise.
So you leased the van?
We leased the van.
For how long?
The van was leased on December 1st, 1992, and I believe it was a 2-year lease. I have a copy of the lease here.
Okay.
Yes, it was.
We separated in March of 1994 and I filed for divorce somewhere in that time. I don't know the exact date.
Who got custody of the minivan in March of 94?
The defendant.
Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Go.
Okay. After our bitter squabble over nickels and the divorce agreement, we signed, the judgment here, and there's a specific provision that deals with the minivan in the divorce settlement, that she's ordered to pay for and maintain the present lease obligations of the van, and
Notice it says present.
And that it says that it's supposed to be transferred to her name only as soon as practical forthwith. Okay. After our bitter squabble over nickels and the divorce agreement, we signed, the judgment here, and there's a specific provision that deals with the minivan in the divorce settlement, that she's ordered to pay for and maintain the present lease obligations of the van, and
Notice it says present.
and that it says that it's supposed to be transferred to her name only as soon as practical for it will.
First off, I made all the payments but one.
Go ahead.
Papers that she stopped making the payments, that they repossessed the van and sold it at a loss.
Well, I would like to say this first. He, for starters, is the main signature on the lease of the contract. During the marriage, I supported him while he went to school. I worked solely through the marriage. During this time, we leased the minivan because he is a musician and because he could take his equipment to rehearsals and on tour. That he had paid for that after the fact that I had supported him through the entire marriage, that I had supplied him with 3 cars, that I thought for him to pay a small amount, it says all present, it doesn't say prior, and that was all.
Was finalized on the day that you signed these papers. You understand that, Ms. Holmes?
Yes, I do.
So you understand then that despite the fact that it was bad marriage, bad breakup, whatever, and a very acrimonious and probably very expensive divorce, you were responsible. You were responsible for the van. He paid it, but you have to reimburse him for that. And the judgment in this case is for the plaintiff in the amount requested, which is $1,200. Thank you. Court is now in session. Let me be clear, this isn't the United Nations, and this definitely isn't Twitter. It's my courtroom, and I don't do or I do justice.
Today's case, Trump, Netanyahu, and Al-Khamenei. Charge: turning diplomacy into drama and the planet into a powder keg.
Mr. Trump, let's start with you. You keep saying, make America great again, but now your cheerleading was like it's a Super Bowl halftime show. What gives?
Well, Judge, I have to say I love peace, the best peace. But sometimes to have peace, you need a little warlike seasoning. You can't cook without salt.
Salt, Mr. Trump, you're not cooking, you're boiling the whole planet. One tweet or two, and for countries panic. Explain that.
Listen, Judge, I had the biggest peace deals, Abraham Accords, beautiful deals. But Khamenei over there always threatening. I had to just strike.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Iran has always responded, never provoked. You weaponize media and blame others for your aggression.
You, Mr. Khamenei, hold weekly rallies where people shout, "Death to America." That's not responding, that's rehearsed hostility.
It is symbolic. A chant of resistance against imperialism.
Symbolic or not, when missiles start flying, no one cares about the metaphor.
And while you two throw words around, Israel is caught in the middle. We live under the threat of Iranian proxies every day. My people sleep near bomb shelters.
Mr. Netanyahu, you've bombed more tunnels than Elon Musk's engineers. How about trying conversation before the missiles?
Tried, but Iran funds terror, Hezbollah, Hamas, and chaos. We defend ourselves.
You say defense, the world sees escalation. You all want peace on your own terms and no one else's. That's not peace, that's ego with a flag.
Should I get them juice boxes and timeout chairs?
Might help. These men have looks but no impulse control. Mr. Trump, you said once you bummers cultural sites. That's not strength, that's pettiness. You don't bring a flamethrower to a library.
That was a negotiating tactic. I'm a master negotiator.
You negotiate like a toddler demands candy. Loud, messy, and someone ends up crying.
Finally, an American who speaks sense.
Don't get smug. You've jailed both silenced journalists and called it discipline. Sounds more like insecurity to me.
Judge, you don't understand our reality. We're surrounded. It's life or death.
Everyone says they're surrounded. Even billionaires feel broke when their stocks dip.
So, what do you want us to do? Hug it out?
No, Mr. Trump, I want you to act like leaders, real leaders. The kind who leave behind peace, not propaganda.
I will not bow to the West.
And I will not gamble with Israel's security.
Then try something radical. Talk without shouting, meet without missiles. And remember, peace isn't weakness. It's the hardest damn thing you'll ever do. Do we have their phones?
All here, confiscated at the door.
Good, no more tweets, threats, or press conferences on sentencing the three of you to 48 hours in a locked room, no Wi-Fi, no advisors, just each other in a peace treaty template.
Wait, no winner?
No military briefings.
No prayer announcements.
Just 3 chairs, 1 pen, and a globe. Figure it out. Or I'll personally drag the Dalai Lama in here to babysit you. The world is tired of bombs with flags on them. Try building something worth remembering. You want history to praise you. Start by not blowing up the future.
Court is adjourned. The next time someone tweets war, Judge Judy's bringing duct tape.
Peace starts when power learns to listen.